Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Enlightenment Exchange, where we take things that we've been wondering about and discuss them to see if we can figure them out. This is John, which I love how I'm always pointing at people, you know, like you can actually see them on my screen.
Right. You have to point the right direction, or maybe it's that way. There we go.
It could be. No, that way.
Yeah, you're right.
John
That's right. Nope. The other
Melanie.
way. Yeah.
It's
Melanie.
John
Nope. The other way.
and Melanie. Nope.
No,
Not on my
actually depends on whose screen we're talking.
It must be, yeah. Because for me, it's John and Angie. Am I right?
Same here. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, weird. Anyway,
Weird.
So this is an interesting conversation. Something John's been wondering about.
Yeah.
Is the idea of letting go and manifesting. And so, John, why don't you tell us, a little bit about the concept that you've been thinking about?
Sure.
You know, like what has you scratching your head, so to speak?
Yeah. So, surprise, surprise, it all started with a book. I just wanted to see you do that, Angie. So the book is called That's Funny, You Don't Look Buddhist. And it's by, oh shoot, did I just lose my camera? I did. Okay. I'm going to turn my camera off and keep talking. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
All right. So it's a book written by a Jewish woman who finds meditation and starts studying Buddhism and really starts to grasp onto that as, hey, this has a bunch of stuff in it that really makes a lot of sense for the human condition. And so anyway, she became a really well-known teacher of meditation and Buddhism. And one of the things she was mentioning was one of the tenets of Buddhism is the idea of non-attachment. If you are not attached to things, you don't get sad when they go away, right? So if you're not attached to, let's say a really nice possession, and the possession is stolen or breaks, or so you don't get upset. And that's one of their main core beliefs, that do not get attached to things because everything is impermanent. So I started thinking about that. I was wondering myself, what am I attached to? And two things immediately came up. One is, my business and trying to make more money and making it a better business. And then two is this concept of being on the right path, which I'll put in air quotes. And I know that every time I have a session with a psychic, those are the two questions: what should I do for my business, and am I on the right path? And I realized I'm really, really attached to those ideas. Now, on the flip side, I'm like, whenever I want to manifest something, I always want to manifest something better for my business, and I want to manifest, continued progress on my path. And I'm like, okay, non-attachment, but still manifesting. There's a real tension there between not wanting to be attached to these things, but also wanting to manifest progress in those directions. So I think that's good for an intro.
Oh, you're not going to like what I just heard.
Okay.
You are attached to the idea of manifesting.
Oh my God. Wow. That is like, yes. Bada bing. Right? Bada bing. Let's make it a big circle now.
Wow. I swear that did not come from judgment. I heard it behind me. And that wasn't me. You are attached to the idea of manifesting. Talk about a paradox.
Right.
Wow.
We're going to be on that exact topic the entire hour.
Okay, so I wanted to read, this is from Original Buddhas, and they have something called the middle way. So the Buddhist philosophy of non-attachment and the middle way. And non-attachment emphasizes the importance of letting go of attachment to material possessions, relationships, thoughts, and emotions to cultivate inner peace and contentment.
Yep.
I have thoughts on that my own self, but in contrast, the middle way emphasizes balance and harmony by avoiding extremes and cultivating moderation. So that's kind of like when they say everything in moderation, including moderation. right? See, because I find non-attachment to be an extreme.
Okay.
And I don't thrive and I know that there are people that thrive in extremes. I mean, you look at the monks and they are smiling and happy and wonderful and helpful and
Right. And they
peaceful
own
and
nothing and they have no, right. Yeah.
right. But I couldn't live that way.
I don't know if this is extreme. People probably would say it is, but I'm not attached to anything. Do like even my children or my dogs or my home, or I am attached to nothing. Maybe it's because I've lost everything and I know that everything can come back or something. I don't know. I know that everything will end. The only thing that won't end is my soul and everybody else's soul.
Mm-hmm.
One day I will not live in this home. One day I will not have my dogs. One day I will not have my children. One day I will not have my business. I will not have whatever. And I don't know. It doesn't feel extreme to me. Maybe it is, but it feels natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, attachment to something, like when you're attached to a relationship or you're attached to your home or your business, it kind of is a breeding ground for it's a way to set up like fear-based thinking. So, oh my God, I have to do what I can. I can't lose my house. I can't lose my dog. I can't lose my kids. So I'm going to protect. I mean, of course I protect my children. Of course I take care of my home. Of course I take my dogs to the vet and get them new, their shots and everything. Of course I'm responsible, but I don't have an attachment to they are mine and I must keep them. Nothing is mine, really.
So
I don't
is that really that you're not attached to them, or are you pragmatic about the human condition?
Yeah, maybe it's that. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Of course I love them. Of course I
Right.
want all of that here. But I also realize one day it will be gone. One day all of this will be gone, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I
That's the
will be
impermanence.
okay.
Yeah, the impermanence tenet of Buddhism is very strong on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for the
So
most
I
part,
don't
I'm there.
know.
I'm there too with most things. But whenever I get worked up, if I get worked up about anything, it's about they're like, dang it all, this business thing's falling apart and right. I just lost a client, or the project's not going well, or I've got a crabby client. The things that get under my skin are usually about my business, which is how I make money, right? So it's that seems to be the thing I'm sort of attached to.
Okay, so here's the thing, and I love this. This was Kyle Cease that said this. And we've talked about Kyle Cease before, haven't we, John?
I know the name. Yeah, I don't.
He's
don't remember.
Evolving Out Loud. He is
Okay.
He was a stand-up comedian turned motivational speaker.
Huh.
And he wrote a few books. Like, I mean, I really think he's amazing. But anyway, so you're going to find this interesting. Those things that you're talking about, a crabby client, you lose a client. He said, all of that comes from the fear of death. Death, you say? And he said, yes, because if I lose a client, I won't make any money. If I lose a client, I'll lose my business. If I lose my business, I won't make any money. If I don't make any money, then I won't have money for food. I won't have money for a roof over my head. I won't have money to go to the doctor. Therefore, I will get sick and I will die, and I'm afraid of death.
Right.
I mean, that is not exactly how he put it.
No, but it's taking it to the logical extreme. Yeah.
But taking it to the logical extreme. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I spent a great number of years seriously afraid of death because of all the ridiculous things they talked about in the 80s, up to and including that added on book of the Bible that doesn't have anything to do with actual people. I believe I was told it's got to do with the fall of Rome, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it does.
And so when I started to do this work and I realized that there was nothing in death to fear, like really, you're going to get all the answers. It really changed. With that said, I have stuff I'm attached to. I do have stuff I'm attached to. Do I know that they're impermanent? Yes. But for me, I'm the type of person that if I detach too much, then that takes me to a place of what would the word be? Unmotivation, lack of motivation.
Yep.
And lack of motivation leads to me not taking care of something, and then losing something because you didn't take care of it really sucks. You know, and that could be a relationship or a thing or a, you know.
I got a funny story related to that. So I ran my business for quite a while, and then I got a job opportunity with someone I really liked a lot, and I took her up on the job opportunity. It was a disaster. One of the things that they did in that company was every day, and I think once a week at noon, they had someone leading a motivational exercise. And so I talked about Byron Katie's stuff and, you know, let it go and non-attachment and, you know, staying out of other people's business. And I was, you know, really excited about these concepts, especially about the one where, you know, hey, if you're not attached to something, then it's not going to bother you. It's not going to be a cause of suffering for you. And after I led that, she pulled me aside and she said, someone needs to light a fire under your butt because all I'm hearing from you is lack of motivation. And
interesting.
So her take on non-attachment was like, if you're not attached and like angry that, or, you know, determined to make something work, then you're just slacking. And I'm like, I can't possibly imagine a more misconstrued understanding of non-attachment.
Well, I think that that's probably another extreme.
Right.
Right. I think that part of this is not everybody's cut out to be a Buddhist monk. Right?
Yeah.
And not everybody not everybody is cut out to I mean, that's the beauty of this, right? We're all different. And so not everybody's cut out to be anything, to be a doctor, to be a garbage man, to be a gardener. Like,
true, but a lot of people suffer unnecessarily. It's that whole second arrow story. You know, the first arrow, right? The first arrow is the one that you can't control.
Oh man, nobody's gonna like this one.
The second arrow is the one where you're actually, you know, wiggling it around yourself, because that is, you know, what that is when something happens to you, that's the first arrow. When you resist it, when you are angry about it, that's the second arrow.
All right. Do you know somebody like that? Do you know somebody like that? Can you think of somebody like that
who complains constantly? Yes.
Okay. Can you? Oh man, I'm tiptoeing into dangerous territory here. If you were to have to take a guess, or perhaps you actually know, does this person have roots in religion?
Yes.
And would it be one of those religions that governs through fear and guilt by any chance?
Yeah, in this case, yes. Although I can also see people that are just kind of natural complainers and they wallow in their own misery.
those are probably people like Virgo moons or something. I don't know. We'd have to ask Lisa about that. But I think that it's all too general, right? Like,
yeah, I guess when you get to specifics,
it's all, these are general, and then you have to look at, does it work for you? 100% non-attachment does not work for me. However, when it comes to manifesting, not being attached to a particular outcome is an entirely different story. So let's go to one of these questions here. What attachments do you find most challenging to let go of, and why?
I think relationships. So, what Melanie said a minute ago, I'm not attached to my kids.
Sounds so
I'm-
horrible.
They
But I am.
come and go, doesn't matter. But so I'm attached to protecting my kid, right? I don't want anyone to do anything harmful to him, right? And I'm gonna should I? I'm willing to do something that I wouldn't do in any other case to prevent him from getting hurt, right? I'll use force, and I don't use force anywhere, but I would use force to prevent him from getting hurt. So that's an attachment that, try as I might, I don't think I'm ready to let go of that one.
Is that actually an attachment, or is that an instinct?
Good question. Clearly, there's a bit of both there.
And I had this conversation today. So, I mean, we're talking about attachments and ego, right? Ego attachments.
Mm-hmm.
I think ego attachments are entirely different than energetic attachments.
Okay.
And I believe that as parents, we are always attached to our children.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how hard we would try to sever those attachments, it just can't happen.
Nor should it, right? It probably
no,
shouldn't.
no, and nor should it. I mean, there are some family members you want to get now,
True.
and you know that
later on.
You
I'm talking
know
about
that
a little
cut
one.
them loose, right? Now, I will also say that I spent a number of years steeling myself for what seemed at the time to be eventual, because I have a daredevil for a child, an adult daredevil. Which is different than a kid that climbs in a tree.
Usually they grow out of that.
Bigger accidents.
Yeah, right.
More expensive.
And so,
Right.
So and very much like I have spent the last year converting the way I feel about the dog, because he's 17. So I'm still attached. It's still going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm managing that attachment. I don't want to live a life without attachments. I don't.
Can I say it this way? You don't want to live a life without love?
I was just going to say,
but
that's
I'm attached to them. I'm attached
Yeah.
to them. That's my definition. I don't need
Fair
to
enough.
follow your definition or the
Yeah.
monk's definition. I don't want to live a life without attachment. I am attached. I'm attached to people. I'm attached to things. I am also attached to my 100% ability and right to cut people and things loose.
Mm-hmm.
And I am better at cutting things loose than lots of people. So,
yeah, I'm pretty attached to, I want to control everything. And I won't do what someone wants me to do. And you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
don't push me
tell me to
around,
do
I'll it
something and I
myself.
won't.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't push me. I'll do it myself.
oh, no doubt. Absolutely. I mean,
Right.
come on.
Right.
Like I'm pretty attached to my boundaries, and I'm pretty attached to
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if those are part of the attachments that Buddhism says we need to let go. I don't know. It's hard to.
Well, here's
wouldn't give up
the
that.
beautiful thing. Not one of us needs to be a Buddhist if we don't want to.
No.
True. I guess I'm wondering about, core, pure Buddhist concept. All three of us here are a blend of many different spiritual understandings. And I think the non-attachment is just one of many. There's a few other things in Buddhism that actually are different than what I currently believe. A lot of the thing about the having a spiritual guide on the other side, that's something that Buddhism says, no, there isn't any guides on the other side. There's just energy. Right. Well, that's my point.
Or
though.
their higher
That's my
self.
point, though. We are not pure, Buddhists here. We have various threads of different spiritual beliefs.
I think that if you really look around the world, because as much as I I'm not going to use that word. I'm not going to use that one either. As much as religion makes me uncomfortable, and I feel really strongly about some religions even more than others, I also have the ability to see people I know who are very, very, very active in the churches that they belong to and very active in the religions that they participate in, that lead wonderful, beautiful lives filled with light. And so if that works for them, that's great. Only place I have a problem is you saying to me, listen, I found this new Buddhist tenet and I think you should take it up too.
Right.
No.
Yes.
Let me dictate how you should live. Right.
Nope.
That's the right there. That is the core, the basis of most religious arguments.
And
hard pass.
And all of the arguments, all of the religions, and this is here's another dipping my toe into those piranha-filled waters. They are all written by men.
Yep.
And by
That's
men,
true.
I mean by humans, right? I mean, most of them are actually written by men.
No, they're all written by males. Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much males.
I would have to agree with that.
I don't know of any that are based on a female.
No, in fact, those are the ones they tried to stamp out.
Those are the ones that,
I mean, that's
back in the
what
day,
they're still fighting against right now.
Right.
But I want to circle back for a second, because part of what we were talking about and what you brought up was the idea of manifesting. And so I want to go back to attachments and manifesting, because I think that there's something really important here. I'm going to put up this question next.
And I have something to say too.
But I want to circle back to the idea of manifesting, because in this case, is it an attachment? I don't know. But somebody told me a long time ago, when I first started, looking at this work and doing this work, don't be attached to a particular outcome. And
that's true.
And what's interesting is those people, John, that you were talking about, who I'm going to say wallow and melancholy, and those people, they say, I lower my expectations so I won't be disappointed. I don't agree with that at all. But when I say don't be attached to a particular outcome, I say that because I believe that when you are manifesting, and if you are manifesting through aligned action and through a clear picture of what you want, then your human brain can't possibly conceive of what all is possible.
Okay.
And so if you get really attached to a particular outcome, and then it comes out better or different than what you thought you wanted, very many people are liable to be disappointed, when in fact, if they would settle into the energy of what's been provided to them, they would say, whoa, this is better than I could even imagine. And so that non-attachment, right, is I think a big deal.
Yeah, I did a reading for a girl yesterday, and she's like, why am I having a hard time manifesting what I want? And I read her Akashic records, and her guides were like, she's holding on to so tightly onto these two things, and she's letting go of everything else, but these two things, she was like this, like they showed me, she's like this, and I was like, you're just holding on tight. You have to be like this or you can't receive. If your hands are like this, you can't receive. And she's like, I mean, yeah, but I don't want to let go of those things. And then I'm like, okay. And and her guides were like, she has to let go. There's better things. She thinks it's amazing what she's holding on to, but what they've got is so much better. And she doesn't know that, because and our human brains don't have the ability to know. Like, we just know what we have right here. You have to let go to receive.
That's really good. I just, what you said just gave me a nice warm buzz of joy there. So
well, and I think that, I mean, Right. One of the issues here is that the ego plays a crucial role in the human experience, right? It's your ego that keeps you safe. It's your ego that teaches you not to touch a hot stove or to walk out in front of a bus. So learning this work and learning to be able to tell your ego, listen, can you go take a vacation? Or I know somebody that takes their ego and puts it in a glass cube while they're doing the work. Really getting a handle on your ego and being able to manage it so that you have it when you need it, because you can't let go of it or you become a doormat.
We just got a nice comment from Coventina. She says, a mentor of mine would remind me that feelings are attached to ego. When you get rid of ego, those feelings fall away and the more peaceful I become. So,
well, and that's a good point, but I would want to remind everybody that you're here to be human.
So the ego has a role in that,
right?
But you just have to know what his role is.
That's why managing the ego is really important, because the truth of the matter is, if you want to transcend polarity, if you want to transcend ego, just jump off the top of the Empire State Building.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because what you're talking about is death.
Right. You can't. I tell my ego. Polarity. Yeah, I put my ego in timeout a lot, but other times I'm like, okay, I see you, ego, and you're right. Yeah, thank you.
Right,
you know,
right.
And
now back
be
to your
grateful
corner.
for your ego. Yeah, don't fight it. You know, it's like a 2-year-old. Okay, thank you. You've got a great idea. Yeah, let's go get some ice cream. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, ego, you're acting like a 2-year-old. Go sit out in timeout right now. I got this. You know, me and my angels got this type of thing. So you do it is managing it, you know. Not getting rid of, again, with the extremes. Don't get rid of it completely and don't let it run everything either.
Right. I think that's the thing. I mean, to me, that's it. You hit it, Melanie, right there. The extremes. There are too many extremes.
Yep.
I like middle of the road. I like easy. I don't like drama. Oh God, I don't like drama. I don't understand drama. People are attached to drama.
Hate drama.
I mean, I see it. I see people who thrive on it, and it just
well, for a little while, right?
Right, and so I see Sheila is in the audience, and I'm thinking every time we talk about somebody different or somebody, I think, what color is their brain?
What color is their brain? I know, yeah. Yep. That's come up a couple times this week, and shout out to Sheila there. Thank you for that conversation in that book. That's been just really cool to use as part of my vocabulary.
It's definitely has been a very useful tool.
So this question, oh, go ahead, John.
I was going to say the question that Angie just put on the screen about what role does gratitude have? And I certainly in manifesting, that's like a core component of manifesting. Oops, there goes my video again. I'll just turn that off.
We can hear you. Yeah, there we go. We can hear you
fine.
It just looks weird. But anyway, point being that I think gratitude is a big part of manifesting. Let me think about the letting go of attachments.
While you're thinking, may I say something?
Yes, please do.
Absolutely.
I think the role that gratitude plays in manifesting is being grateful for what you do have and being grateful for, if you do lose something, being grateful for losing it, because there might be a lesson in there of losing it. So you're grateful for the lesson, and then being grateful for what is on the other side of that, of losing that. So kind of
that's good.
Being grateful through the whole process, through what you have, what you're going to lose through the losing it, and then what's the new thing.
What's the better thing coming?
Right.
Huh. Yeah, that's nice.
What is it creating space for?
Yeah.
That's that. I mean, to me, when you're talking about just manifesting in general, gratitude plays a huge role.
Huge. Yeah.
Because energetically speaking,
Mhm.
If you focus on what you're grateful for, then the universe knows what to send you,
Yeah.
right?
Right,
Like,
right.
like
If you
that's
focus on what you don't have, the universe is like, cool, she
right,
wants more of that.
or I just want enough to get by. That's not me talking, of course. No, just don't. But I knew someone. I just want enough to get by. I just want enough to get
Mhm.
by. Oh my God, it's so hard. I just want enough to get by.
Mhm.
Right. And the
And
universe
that's
says, gotcha.
all they ever got.
Gotcha.
And I was
Yep.
like, you need to stop saying that. And when that happened, it started to
Yep.
shift. So
Yep.
I think that gratitude, and it's interesting, we've talked about that gratitude journal, that woman with the television showman, we can say her name. It's not like we're saying anything bad. That Oprah said, write a gratitude journal, write down 3 things you're grateful for every day. It'll change your life. I was like, okay, let me try. No, it did not.
Right.
Because it got to a point where it was just like a job.
It was a
I
chore.
couldn't think of anything, right? And then what I didn't understand at the time, and this is not necessarily for everyone, but for me, it is much more important for me to connect to the energy of what I'm grateful
Yep.
for
Yep.
than what I'm actually grateful for. So in other words, if I'm grateful that there's money in the bank, I need to really connect to the energy of that. And what does it feel like to have that money in the bank, right? Like, or I'm grateful for my breath.
Right.
Right? Like,
and connecting to the energy of what it is that you're trying to manifest. I don't try to manifest a specific dollar amount. I'm like, what do I want? I want financial peace. I want freedom. I want, if my kids are like, I need school clothes, cool, let's go get school clothes and I don't have to worry about it. That's what is the feeling that I want. That's what I try to tap
I think
into.
that's important. A lot of times when people try to manifest money, what they're actually needing to manifest what the money is going to be used for.
Right.
So kind of
Mhm.
skip the
well,
middleman.
there is that, but then there's also, I want to manifest $1 million. You can't go to high school from kindergarten. You
Right.
Yeah,
can't.
Right.
So if you want
it's a
to
step.
manifest $1 million, you need to say, okay, I guess I better go out and get a job.
Well, yeah, you have to take action.
Right? Because there is no poof. But if you don't have a degree and you've never been to school and or you're starting a business that you don't have no idea how to run, you're not going to manifest $1 million no matter how much you visualize it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to, that's why they call it aligned action, right?
Mm-hmm,
Like
Yep.
you need to, although I told you that one time I told somebody there is no poof and she blocked me.
Well, and a lot of times, like I want $1 million. Cool, they get $1 million. They don't know what to do with it, and then they're like, and this was in that book Happy Money, by Ken Honda. It was, yeah, okay, you get the $1 million, then you buy a nice car and you buy a bigger house and you join all these new, like the country club, and you do all this and all this and all this. Oh, again, I'm in debt. I'm in the same situation, just a different tax bracket, right?
Mhm.
Again, I need more money, right?
Well,
You manifested the $1 million, but you still have those feelings of it's not enough. I'm still need, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
right.
that
the
and
feelings and the experiences.
that and people don't understand the concept of flow, right?
Right.
First of all,
and it comes and goes.
First of all, you can't manifest winning the lottery. You can connect to the energy of it, maybe. And I know there's people, in Silva that have wanted a few things, but there's no flow there.
Right.
You might be able to get the numbers once, but that's it. And if you don't know how to manage money, $1 million is a finite amount of money.
Yep.
That doesn't buy a mansion and a yacht and a hello from South Africa. Wow, hello from South Africa.
We have a nice comment. From Mia. Hi, Mia.
Anyway, I think it's quite interesting that a lot of people look at it that way. And what are you going to do?
And we have to be, again, okay with the ebb and flow of money. Money's going to flow in and money's going to flow out. And you have to be grateful when it's flowing out instead of being like disgruntled of, oh, I got to pay the water bill. My water bill is $300 a month, which is insane, right? And I used to
Is
complain
it
about it all the
showers?
time.
It's showers.
No. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm very, very conservative with it. It's a private company, so it's not like,
Holy cow.
so it's a
Wow.
monopoly,
Okay.
right?
Interesting. Boy, we could talk all day
And I
about that
used,
too.
yeah, don't get me started. There's a class action lawsuit. It's a
Oh,
thing in
wow.
my
It
town.
just gets better and
Yeah,
better.
it's a thing. Yeah. But anyway, I used to be like, oh, I have to pay $300 to the water company, right? And I was always struggling to come up with that money to pay it, right? Once I was like, you know what? I'm grateful that I have semi-clean water and it's, I can take a shower every day. I have nice warm water. I have I can cook, blah, 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 right? And then all of a sudden, the money started showing up easier for me to pay that bill.
Mhm.
There you go.
It's going to come, it's going to flow out, it's going to flow in. Just trust that the process is,
Don't
it's just,
stop the flow.
that's just how it is, right? The anger and the, I gotta do it is what becomes like a clog in the pipe of the flow,
So check this out. You
I'm in a
let
plumbing
go. You let go of the attachment to the struggle.
Right. Yeah. There's that too. A lot of times people are attached to the struggle. Oh my God, I'm so poor, I'm so struggling, I'm so sick, I'm so in pain, I'm da da da. It's like the martyr syndrome.
Well, and I mean, and the truth is that they may be all those things.
Yeah.
Right.
But they like that they're there.
Well,
they won't admit it, but they like it.
It's
they
part of
like
the
it,
drama
or it's
syndrome too that you mentioned a minute
or
ago.
it's comfortable, right?
Right.
Like,
they know
or
it. They get attention.
Or it's just comfortable because it's all they've
Right.
ever known.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I don't want to
Exactly.
make it sound like, I mean, and you're right, there are people that are like that. There are whatever that word, the people with victim consciousness and victims, and there are those people.
Mhm.
But there are also people who are, shall we say, victims of circumstance.
Yes.
And geography and
Yes.
DNA. And so but even those people become attached to the struggle. And when they realize, much like you just said, that instead, I mean, the situation is the same. Your water bill is still the same.
Right, exactly.
But you let go of the anger that it generated.
The resistance.
Right.
The resistance.
You like
The
the
and
resistance.
then you invited flow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what? That
all of a
goes right
sudden,
back to that where we said the second arrow. You still have the, shall I say, the difficulty or the obligation to pay that water bill, but instead of fighting it, you've gotten rid of that second arrow,
right?
And you've like, it is what it is, and here we are. So that it feels like it's all part of the same thing, just saying it a different way almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And here's another little switch that you can make. Instead of calling it an obligation to pay that water bill, you call it a responsibility.
Okay. I like that better.
Because obligation is the polarity of freedom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You have the freedom to pay
if you're trying to create freedom in your life, you don't want to generate obligation, whether it is, ridiculous obligation. Because some people, some of the things that I've seen people obligated to do, I'm like, why?
I got a funny story on that. In my town, we have an annual pumpkin run where you run 5K. I don't run, but you run 5K holding a pumpkin. And when I first heard about it, I said, "What? You have to carry a pumpkin?" And at the same time, all the people around me that knew about it said, "No, you get to carry a pumpkin." I'm like,
there you go.
I like
See, it's
makes it easier.
And so I think a lot of people have heard of Netta Talmor, who is the creator of No Hassle website, who I adore. She's created, the websites that I use. This is her tagline for her membership. Mindset is what determines what is possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep.
That easy. Mindset is what determines what is possible for you. Because mindset is another, to me, one of those buzzwords that everybody's attached to the idea of mindset and mindfulness, but nobody, what does it really mean?
Right.
And so then to break it down to be that simple, it just determines what's possible for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you shift your mindset to, you get to carry a pumpkin. Maybe you find the smallest pumpkin, and I
was just going to say, I'd find the tiniest little pumpkin, because I don't run. If I'm running, you better be running because something's chasing me. But if I run, it's going to be a tiny one.
Right? Like,
you get to carry a pumpkin. How about that?
Yeah.
So funny. So funny. Wow. Okay, let's see if we have anything left in the okay, so we don't really have any questions left, but there were a few tips that we grabbed, and one is embrace gratitude daily. And this is something you should focus on at the end of the day. Have either of you ever done one of those like a mason jar where you take a piece of paper at the end of the day and write down something that you're grateful for, and you toss it in the jar to pull out like on New Year's Eve? Or
no, I haven't done that. I mean, I kind of use the gratitude journal sort of like that, where you review it at the end of the year.
I've actually not done either, but I like both ideas. But I'm being prompted by therapists and other people to write, you need to write some of these things down, like, so you can process how you feel about them. And I'm like, you know how many journals I have? I don't know, 60.
Right, with like the first 3 pages used and the rest blank.
That's it.
Yeah, I got a whole stack too. So
yeah,
my problem is continuity.
Yeah, right. Like, it's just so.
I'm great at starting new things.
Me too.
For me, it goes back to, I don't want to be told what to do.
I know, not even by myself.
Not even by myself.
That's fun.
Yes,
but exactly. I do really, really, and this isn't telling myself this. This is just, you know what? I want to have a good day. Every night I go to bed and I'm like, okay, one thing, even if it was the worst day. Okay, one thing. There's got to be one thing. Okay, my coffee in the morning, that was delicious, that I'm grateful for. And then when I wake up in the morning, even if I hadn't experienced anything, I'm still gonna, okay, what am I grateful for today? Well, I'm grateful that, a tree didn't fall in the house overnight, or I woke up into this beautiful home, and I don't know, like, just think of something to be grateful for both in the morning and at night. And I think it's just a really good way of starting the day and ending the day.
And a way to set up your dreams for on a positive path.
Yeah.
So, okay, so here's one more, and then I want to talk about my idea for next week. Set clear intentions and let go of the outcome. So for me, I am visualize, align, surrender. Visualizing is all about creating a clear picture of what it is that you want. And then align, take aligned action toward it. If you're trying to manifest an open door, don't go over and close a window. Like, make your way towards the door and turn the knob. And then surrender to the universe, surrender to the trust that it takes, that the universe got your message and is working on, providing with what it is that you want. So what do you think about that? How do you set in, John? I think you set intentions every day, don't you? Or did you?
Did I? Right. Again, it's the continuity. But yeah, so I think this whole process of visualize, align, surrender is something, number one, I agree with 100%. And number two, I need to figure out a way to actually keep doing it for longer than a couple weeks.
Right. I get that. I totally get that.
If anyone has a good idea, I'm all ears.
I'm working on it. I have ideas, but
maybe it's an app.
I don't know. I mean, lots of people have apps, mindfulness apps and things like that. When my phone dings, I'm like,
I don't know if it has to be a daily thing for me. Like if I'm trying to manifest something, I'm like, okay, so say it's finances. I want to, like I said earlier, I want to manifest the peace and the freedom. There you go, universe. I'm done. I'm not going to think about it anymore. I'm letting go of how it happens, and I'm done with it. And then I move on. I don't like focus every day on setting the intention. Okay, now it's a new day. I got to state my intentions again with having more money.
Oh,
and then
I
the next
see.
day,
So,
have more intention. You know what I
right.
mean?
It's not like it's
I
a
can do it
religion
once and
where
then
you
that's
have
it.
to keep doing it.
No,
Right.
I think
don't do
daily
that.
intentions are more for how you want to move through your life.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, like today I'm
You
not
know,
going to
like
be screaming quite as much.
I am
At my
I
kid.
am surrounded and filled with light. Only good comes
Yes.
to me, only good comes
Right.
from me, and I give
Yes.
thanks for my many blessings. Like
That,
to me,
yeah.
that's the daily intention, right? But so wow. I mean, there went the time again. We're at 45 minutes. So before we go, thank you everyone who stayed with us. If you haven't hit that subscribe yet button, please do so.
Yep. Love the comments, by the way. Great to see some comments on the show.
We're getting close. We're, I think we need 17 more to be at 100, which would be delightful. Anyway, so this is my idea for next week. So anybody that's listening, and Melanie, John, next week I want to do a random thoughts episode. So what I want
you don't want to know my random thoughts.
Oh no, you need to be responsible. You need to be responsible for what we put on the channel. However, I want
you don't know me.
Yes, I do, and I also can take you out of the screen like this.
Uh-oh.
So just keep that in mind.
I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm just
having
fun.
What I want you to do between now and then is make a list of random thoughts that you find interesting or intriguing.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Something that would be good for having a conversation, not, that. And I would like the listeners to do the same, so that while we're in the episode, you can drop them in the comments and we can, bring them up for a little chit chat as well. So
yeah,
whatever it might be, it could be, spiritual base. It could be a recipe for barbecue sauce, like whatever it might be. And we're going to give each little thought a couple 2-3 minutes and try to get through as many of them as we possibly can. But
I like it.
Just take a, like a legal pad or something and keep it close. Yeah. And then before we come on for the show, just be sure to, go through them and cross off the ones,
that are inappropriate.
Well, that too.
Maybe inappropriate.
Figure out the ones
that stand out.
For you.
Yeah.
So for that particular day. Anyway, thanks everyone so much. We didn't go too much over today, but I don't know. We can't seem to. 40 minutes is just too short. So I guess from now on, it will be a little bit longer than 40 minutes. There you go. Anyway, thank you all for joining us on the Enlightenment Exchange. John, Melanie, always great to see you.
Always glad to be here.
And listeners, we will see you next week. Thank you so much. And don't forget to take notes of your random thoughts. I love random thoughts. See you later.
Bye.